All right, now send me the link so I can post it to my Instagram.
Yep.
And it ain't gonna pop up like this. I just need a link from you, and then I can share it. Does it show how many viewers we have? Where's the comment section? Private chat?
No, not the private chat. It'll be on the left side where it says comments. That left window. Yep, to the left right there. Yep.
And then I click this, and it goes on this screen?
That, and then it'll go
it'll go here.
Yeah. So as they fill the comments,
It says it's hidden. Why is it hidden? What do I do? That ain't working. This shit confusing.
You're live.
Well, what happened? I didn't mean to do that. All right.
Send it to which one?
702-445. So how do I know how many people are watching this? It's on YouTube right now?
Yeah.
And it's got the header and everything with D'Angelo Russell. Okay. That's my dude. Now what should I do? Like go on my phone and pull the YouTube up to watch that? Just to see, or what do I do?
Yeah, so I mean, this is what it'll look like on other people's shit. So I'm watching right now. I see the chat.
So YouTube does paid shit too?
Yeah. Yeah, so it says one is viewing right now. So you see at the very top left, the little eyeball.
All right, yeah. So where would they comment? I click this comment box shit. They don't do nothing. What the fuck? I think I hit it.
I think you hit it.
I hate new shit.
It's necessary sometimes. There you go.
New comments below here. Why does it say high chat overlay? Why is it doing that? Do I click this or what? Why is it not showing it?
Click that. Yeah.
And then it hides it. That's what I did.
Okay.
Undo.
So, undo.
Why is it doing that though? Oh, I guess I can't put my thing on it. That's why.
Yeah. It'll hide it when you hover.
All right. So where are people at? What's good? We got 3 people on here. That's definitely not enough. My phone is recording everything I'm saying right now on the voice chat. So when you stop the IG monthly, huh? So when my Instagram gets back good, we can just stream this on there, and then when we're done with it, it'll stay to YouTube.
Yep.
You sure?
This streams live to YouTube and it stays on.
So, but if we do it to Instagram and shit, once it's done, it won't be on Instagram, but it'll always stay live on YouTube.
Wow. So we'll post it after, just like a regular post.
Hit the subscribe button, y'all. All right, the first thing we're going to talk about today is the AFC North preview. We trying, bro. We got 69 people. Okay, that's not bad. So I don't know. This is going to be an adjustment period for me. Hopefully the sounds a lot better. Boy, elevating every day. Shit, we trying to work our way around Instagram. We got people on there threatening me to beat me up at Best Buy and shit. He was trying to beat me up and give me an OLED TV for half off and shit. How does this man have titties? Like, you must be taking them serious steroids. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I could talk about this certain stuff on YouTube. How do I post images and stuff like I do on Instagram? It says image video display.
Yeah, so go on the left, click image video display.
Mm-hmm.
And then see how it changes. So hover over the walk banner.
Hover over it?
Yeah, just hover over it. You see the 3 dots on the right.
I can move it?
You can move it too.
Oh, what 3 dots top right?
Right there.
Where? Oh, right here?
No, right here.
There's no dots.
Oh, no, okay. So
I think it's right here.
No. So you can do here, plus.
Oh, and then what? Go to my pictures and shit.
Yeah.
All right,
So
you might see something you don't want to see on there.
I can do that for you. So if you tell me like, hey,
Oh, so if I send you the pictures, yeah.
Logo or something
All right, so how do I take this off now, this picture?
Just click on main or comment section.
Delete?
No, not delete. Just pick a different scene. So you can go main and go.
All right, cool. All right, what's good, everybody? Oh, fuck, now the comments ain't showing again. I just click it. I got it. Everybody's telling me, be careful.
I'm telling you, bro, be careful.
All right, we're going to make this short and sweet today. It's not going to be too long of a podcast. We're just testing this out, trial and error. Tomorrow, I will be able to go live on Instagram, so we'll start posting our lives like this. And then when they're done, they'll be on on YouTube. So every day when I go live on Instagram, you guys always ask if the live is going to remain up. We're going to leave it on YouTube, and you can go watch that every single day, and hopefully this blows up. So with that said, we're going to go over the AFC North today. AFC North predictions. I know you guys know I have $15,000 on the Steelers to win more than 8.5 games, and I'm definitely worried about that. I'm going to go team by team right now. The first team in the AFC North, obviously, is the Baltimore Ravens. Key additions for the Ravens this year. They picked up Derrick Henry, Josh Jones, and they have some big losses for the Ravens. They lost Patrick Queen, middle linebacker, to the Steelers. They lost Morgan Moses, starting left tackle. They lost Clowney, Josh Simpson, Kevin Zeitler, who's one of the best guards in the NFL. So the Ravens have lost 3 players on that big, bad offensive line that they had last year. Also lost 3 of their running backs in Gus Edwards, Dalvin Cook, and J.K. Dobbins. So I know everybody's so high on the Ravens every single year. We're going to have to see how their O-line pans out. I really like their running game with Keaton Mitchell and Derrick Henry, that speed and power combination. They got Zay Flowers. Also got Mark Andrews coming back from injury last year, hurting himself. But I really like Isaiah Likely. I believe that Isaiah Likely is one of the best tight ends in the NFL. And I don't believe there's no team in the NFL that has a better 1-2 punch at tight end than the Baltimore Ravens, which could be big because Lamar Jackson has the inability to throw to wide receivers. He always throws the tight ends. He's not a good outside the hashes type of throwing quarterback. So I believe that the Ravens will have a really good offense this year. Now, their biggest strength was their O-line last year. And they boosted their O-line up last year, so we'll see how their O-line pans out this year. We all know how I feel about Lamar Jackson. He's a great regular season quarterback. They got a lot of talent around him consistently. Their defense is still good. You got Kyle Hamilton. You got Raquan Smith. The guy that I really don't like the most is Marlon Humphreys. I believe he's had a hamstring injury for 2 years in a row. I don't believe that he's the same player, the same caliber player that he once was. I've seen George Pickens fry this guy 2 years in a row, and I just believe that lingering hamstring injury has took away from him being the all-pro player that he once was. I believe he's a name at this point. As far as what the Ravens do in the division, they're going to be there. They're there every single year. The players really play for Jim Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson. Is it John or Jim? Is it John or Jim? It's Jim, right? John is the for the Chargers. So I don't really know. The Steelers are 5-1 against the Ravens in the last 3 seasons. So regardless of how good the Ravens have been, we always find a way to beat them. I believe that the AFC North is the toughest division in football. So that's pretty much it for the Ravens right now. I don't have a keen prediction on them. Cincinnati Bengals. Everybody expects for the Bengals to be great this season. I don't really think that the Bengals are that good of a football team. Key additions, they picked up Zach Moss, Mike Gesicki, the former tight end from the Miami Dolphins, picked up Trent Brown, who's a good left tackle, Von Bell, Geno Stone, 2 safeties, considering they lost their best safety, Jesse Bates, to the Falcons last year. Biggest losses, Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd, Irv Smith, Chidobe Awuzie. I don't know if I'm saying his name properly. That's a big loss for them as well. This is the thing with the Cincinnati Bengals. They can't seem to get a good O-line in front of Joe Burrows. He keeps getting hurt every single year. They spent a lot of money on their O-line. They franchise tag T. Higgins, who I believe is the best possession wide receiver in the NFL. I just believe that the Bengals defense is not that good. I believe their defense is extremely overrated. I don't believe that their defense is someone that's going to bring them deep and make a playoff run. And I believe they're their most overrated team in football. I just think that their defense isn't good. They lost their running back with Joe Mixon. Yes, Moss had a really good year last year. I just think that the Bengals are going to be a strictly offensive team this year with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Jamar Chase is also holding out because he's looking for a contract extension. That's a lot of money to go around between Joe Burrows, who got a huge contract, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase. I don't believe that their defense is going to be able to get any stops this year, and I believe that they will finish last in the AFC North. I know it sounds crazy. Joe Burrows is one of my favorite quarterbacks ever, definitely one of my favorite college quarterbacks, what he did in college for LSU. I just believe they're going to be a strictly offensive team this year. They're going to throw the ball. Their defense is not going to be great. So I think the Bengals finish last in their division or maybe third in their division because Steelers might fuck around and finish last. I'm going to talk about that here in a second. Cleveland Browns. Let's get the Browns image pulled up. You're going to have this shit ready. Cleveland Browns. Now, if I go to comments right here and put the comments up, will that still be on the screen?
So they can see the comments on YouTube already?
No, I'm saying like if I click comment right here, does the comment shit come back up or is it
So it does.
All right. So Cleveland Browns, key signings this year. They picked up Jerry Jeudy from the Broncos, Jameis Winston, Tyler Huntley, the backup from the Ravens, who's a good serviceable backup. Picked up Hines, picked up Devin Bush, Jordan Hicks, the former Philadelphia Eagle linebacker that never panned out. Also picked up Deontay Foreman. So they got a lot of good running backs over there right now. They lost Joe Flacco, Kareem Hunt, and Marcus Goodwin, Harrison Bryant. Really no losses for them. No big losses for them. The biggest question with the Cleveland Browns is obviously whether Deshaun Watson can stay healthy and have a serviceable year. They got a really good O-line. They got a really good running game, great defense, great secondary. Grant Delpit, Denzel Ward, Myles Garrett got Defensive Player of the Year, had a good rookie linebacker last year as well. The Browns are a very complete team. The biggest weakness for the Browns, in my opinion, is obviously Nick Chubb being injured, and they didn't really have a number 2 wide receiver. Now they have Jerry Jeudy. They got Elijah Moore from Ole Miss. I believe he's hurt. They got the tight end as well. And this is all off the top of the dome. We have no research or nothing going on right now. We're just breaking this shit down. Appreciate the subscription. Thank you very much. And I just think that a lot of people expect the Browns to be very good. The biggest key for them is that they're going to be able to run the ball. They have Ford, who's a good running back, showed he's serviceable. Seen if Nick Chubb's going to come back. Also got Hines and Deontay Foreman. And Deontay Foreman is a starting caliber running back in the NFL. I think Deontay Foreman is a big pickup for them. The biggest question is whether Deshaun Watson can get the job done. Ever since he stopped getting those things in his bum, I don't want to say too much right now and get banned from YouTube as well. But ever since his booty hole stopped getting finger banged, he hasn't been the same player. Is that bad? He has not been the same player. Somebody give this man 2 fingers and some KY jelly so we can get Deshaun Watson back to being the player that he once was. I think the Browns are going to be a good team, but then again, the Steelers have a nucleus to be able to shut down Cleveland. Nick Chubb should be coming back. Their linebacking core has improved. Their secondary is phenomenal. The Browns have a really good team. The issue with the Browns, in my opinion, is their coaching staff and whether Deshaun Watson can get back to the level that they expected him to play at when they signed him to a big contract. So I think Browns will be a tough team. We'll see if Deshaun Watson can get the job done. My Pittsburgh Steelers, my $15,000 future bet, and I must admit, I never claimed to be rich. I never claimed to be the most wealthy guy. I'm happy with my life. My family's taken care of. Everything's good. But $15,000 on a future bet is by far the biggest future bet I've ever put in my life. It's not even fucking relatively close. I don't know what I was thinking at that time. I was up. I started falling into the hype a little bit. And I think I might have made a mistake. Now, I could be wrong. We picked up Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, Patrick Queen, Dante Jackson for the trade. We traded Deontay Johnson for Dante Jackson. We got Deshaun Elliott, who's a starting caliber safety, picked up from the Dolphins. Cordella Patterson, Van Jefferson. Losses, Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, Mitchell Trubisky, Deontay Johnson, Allen Robinson, and Patrick Peterson, who was trash anyways, and Levi Wallace. I believe that the Steelers have the best linebackers in the NFL. I mean, we got Alex Highsmith, TJ Watt, Patrick Queen, Peyton Wilson from NC State. Looks like a phenom type of player if he can stay healthy. And we also got Hurt Big as well, who just, I believe, has a ability to get to the quarterback. Hurt Big from Wisconsin. I believe TJ Watt took him under his wing. He's had a couple sacks in preseason already. I believe that Hurt Big has an ability to really, really get after the quarterback. Big player that I like for the Steelers is Becton, our defensive tackle we drafted in the third round last year. I believe that Becton is an absolute superstar. This guy's huge. He's unstoppable. I really don't see any weaknesses on the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Cam Hayward is old. He's on the back end of his career, but he's a leader in the locker room. And with our secondary, with Deshaun Elliott, Minka Fitzpatrick, fucking Joey Porter Jr. in his second year, Dante Jackson, who's a serviceable number 1 DB. And we have Cam Sutton coming back from beating his girlfriend up after 6 weeks. I believe that our defense is going to be phenomenal. The key for the Steelers always is whether TJ Watt can stay healthy or not. He's a brick wall over there. It's hard to throw screens with him. He gets after the quarterback. Joe Burrow's already spoke about how hard it is to play against TJ Watt because he's not just a pass rusher. He's like a DB in the secondary, the way he can swat those passes down. So with that said, I think our defense is probably the best defense in the NFL. Seriously, I know the Chiefs have a good defense. I know the Eagles made some key pickups, having Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, and then picking up the two best DBs in the draft with Darius Slay. You guys still got Bradbury or no? With Bradbury, I believe Eagles have a good defense as well. But on paper, I believe Steelers have the best defense in the NFL. Our weakness is obviously our offensive line right now. And it doesn't matter who we put at quarterback if we cannot protect the quarterback. A quarterback is only as good as his offensive line. We went and draft Fuitanu, number 1. From Washington, the right tackle. We got Broderick Jones last year. We drafted from Georgia, lottery pick. And we got Zach Martin, who's a rookie center who we're going to be starting. So besides Isaac Sumalu and maybe James Daniel, we got good guards. We have a lot of young, inexperienced linemen, and I think it's definitely going to hurt our performance this season. And that's why I believe that Justin Fields needs to be the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think that Justin Fields is a better quarterback than Russell Wilson. I just think that Justin Fields is a better quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers right now because we're going to need some type of explosiveness out of our quarterback position considering we don't have the greatest wide receivers. Pat Freiermuth is great. George Pickens is great. Jaylen Warren is going to be out several weeks with a hamstring injury, which could be lingering all year long. Van Jefferson's not a number 2 wide receiver. Quintez Watkins is not a number 2 wide receiver. I do like Calvin Austin a lot. Fast, explosive player who can really play football. He is injury prone. He came from Memphis, and I just don't think he's a number 2. I think he's a slot guy. He's a number 3. And I do think the Steelers will improve their number 2 wide receiver. But if they cannot protect the quarterback, if they cannot have a power running game with Arthur Smith and Najee Harris, now that they're missing Jaylen Warren, I think the Steelers can be in big, big trouble this year, especially against a team like the Ravens, the Browns. The Bengals even have 2 good DNs with fucking Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson, I believe his name is. So I believe the Steelers are going to be in big trouble with this O-line. I believe their defense is going to keep them in a lot of games, and I believe their offense is going to be a problem yet again this season, especially without Jaylen Warren. So my prediction is I think the Ravens win the AFC North. Unfortunately, they're just too good. It's picking up a guy like Derrick Henry to run an RPO with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. You're going to have to keep those linebackers disciplined because if you don't, Derrick Henry's going to run up the middle and gash you for 5-10 yards. If not, you play those linebackers outside. Lamar Jackson's going to pull that ball, and he's going to run for 30-40 yards. Not to mention Keaton Mitchell has 4.3 speed, and I believe if he didn't get hurt last year, they would have been phenomenal. Great, best tight ends in the NFL. Good number 1 receiver was Zay Flowers. They got the receiver, Rashad Bateman. I don't know if he still plays for them or not. I didn't see him on their losses. He should be looking to take a leap because he was their first-round draft pick a couple years ago. So I'm going to go Ravens, number 1. I'm going to go Steelers, Browns, 2-3, relatively very close, maybe 10-7, 9-8 records. And I'm going to go Bengals, finishing last because I don't believe their O-line has proved it to me. I don't believe their secondary is great. I believe that the Bengals have no defense in a division that, quite frankly, is the most competitive division in football. Every single team in our division last year finished with a winning record. So that's pretty much that. Let me go ahead and learn this here. Go ahead and we're going to go over week 1 matchups. Oops. We're going to go over week 1 matchups. And this is just going to be a vague breakdown. KingCap Sports sitting here with me. He's got shit to do. And we're just trying to figure this out our best way that we can. So I'm not going to make this like a crazy breakdown. We're going to save that, and we're going to start preparing ourselves a little bit to make these podcasts a little bit more official. Damn, nice. So wait. All right. So with that said, I'll go ahead and look at some matchups that I've already been looking at. I believe that the Jacksonville Jaguars have a really good chance of being successful against the Miami Dolphins week 1. Here are the reasons why. Jacksonville has really improved their offense. They have Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby. I believe that this is the year whether Trevor Lawrence is going to make or break himself. And I believe the Jaguars in the draft have really improved on their defense, including the former number 1 overall draft pick. I believe his name is Walker. He's a beast. Jacksonville has a really good offense, man. I'm a big fan of Travis Etienne. Brian Thomas, the receiver from LSU, is a true deep threat. They have Christian Kirk back healthy. Also went and picked up Gabe Davis. And I'm not even looking at nothing. This is off the top of my dome. This is what I know so far, and my knowledge is going to get even more extensive as the season progresses. But Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis, Brian Thomas Jr., great tight end in Evan Ingram, who has just found a home in Jacksonville, and you got the great offensive mind in Doug Peterson, who is a quarterback coach. I don't think Miami is that good this year. I think that their offense is going to be phenomenal, but I believe that their defense had a lot of losses, majority in Christian Wilkins, who is going to be the Raiders' #1 defensive tackle for years to come. Lost Xavier Howard, who was their #1 DV. A lot of losses over there for the Dolphins defense. I don't think their defense is great. I think Jacksonville can really do some damage against Miami, and I believe that Jacksonville has plus money value. You forget Jacksonville is from Miami as well. Jacksonville, Florida, Miami, Florida, the king of Florida. So it's not like they're traveling. They're going to be used to the conditions. This could be a very relatively competitive game. It could also go way over because there's no one in the world that's stopping Tyreek Hill right now. Baltimore versus Kansas City. This is a very, 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 very trappy game, in my opinion. The biggest reason this is a trappy game, the Chiefs are not a regular season team. They don't give a fuck about the regular season. That's why last year they struggled so bad in the regular season, and they still were my prediction to win the whole thing because I knew what they would do when they locked in. Last year, the Chiefs started off week 1 against the Detroit Lions, and they lost the game thanks to Kadarius Toney missing the pass and Brian Branch, the rookie from Alabama, running it back for a touchdown. What I will say is Andy Reid absolutely fucking owns Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. He has figured them out. And I believe that the Kansas City Chiefs have the best defensive coach in the NFL. What's his name again?
No, they don't have Ben anymore. The Chiefs?
Yeah, the guy that made all the play calls last year in the Super Bowl that beat him on the 3rd down when the Niners just needed to get one first down. Yeah, Spagnuolo. I believe that Spagnuolo, and this is something you have to work on. Spagnuolo, I believe, is the best defensive coach in the NFL. I believe the Chiefs had some losses, losing a guy like Ladarius Sneed. But their other cornerback that they have over there, Trent McDuffie, is an absolute superstar. And he's one of the biggest reasons why they won the Super Bowl last year. He shut down Brandon Ayuk. He's an absolute star. So, losing a guy like Ladarius Sneed can be big. He's a press corner, man corner, phenomenal player. But I believe the Chiefs will be fine. As far as this game goes, I'm a little bit worried. I think this game means a lot more to Baltimore than it does Kansas City. So, but this Baltimore just can't beat Kansas City. Andy Reid has figured out a recipe in order to be able to beat them. With Kansas City picking up a guy like Xavier Worthy, and I believe that Rashee Rice is an absolute superstar. Chiefs have the best offensive line in football. Hey, who is filling in for the Eagles at center? It's not Landon Nickerson. Who is it? Cam Jurgens. I believe the Kansas City Chiefs and the Lions are the two teams with the best O-lines in the NFL. If you look at the Kansas City line on Madden, they're all like 95s and shit. It's absolutely phenomenal. So they're going to be able to run the ball with sorry-ass Isaiah Pacheco, who I believe is the most overrated running back in the NFL. I believe the only reason that Isaiah Pacheco is a good running back is because you got to play cover 3, cover 2 when you got to guard, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, and now Rashee Rice is going to be a superstar this year. You add Marquise Brown, you add fucking Xavier Worthy. I believe the Chiefs are going to have an elite offense this year, which they didn't have last year, and teams are going to be in big trouble. Obviously, the Chiefs are probably the favorite to win the Super Bowl again, and I think they will find a way to win this game. Green Bay versus Philadelphia. I'm not going to get in extensive research on this game. I just do think that game has potential to be a high-scoring game. I don't think anybody's stopping Jordan Love right now with those receivers that he have over there. Christian Watson's finally healthy, and I just don't believe that Green Bay is going to be – I believe that all these defenses are going to start their first couple of weeks off very slow because of the collective bargaining agreement. They're not practicing full contact, and I just don't think the defense is going to be up to par with the offense, especially good O-lines. Green Bay has a good O-line. Philadelphia has a good O-line. I just think there could be a lot of points in this game, honestly. I mean, I hate Jalen Hurts, but Philadelphia still has a lot of talent. Still got Dallas Goedert, still got Saquon Barkley now, still got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, who I believe is the best number 2 wide receiver in the NFL. Maybe T. Higgins, maybe Jordan Addison. There's a lot of good number 2s, but Devontae Smith was a phenom in college. He was a generational talent. He won the national championship, and he's just that guy. And for his size, nobody really expected him to be this good. He goes up in traffic. Yeah, he goes up in traffic. He does it all. I really, 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 really like Devontae Smith a lot. As far as his game goes, I believe it can be a very high-scoring game. Minnesota, New York, the shit bowl. Carolina, I believe that Carolina has plus money value as well. I believe that Carolina has really improved on their team this year. They fixed their O-line. They picked up some good wide receiver weapons with Xavier Legette, Deontay Johnson, got a good running game. They lost Brian Burns, who was one of their best defensive players, to the Giants. Also lost Dante Jackson, so their defense can definitely regress. I believe their offense is going to be a lot better, and I don't believe that the Chiefs really like Derek Carr. I don't believe they do like him. I don't believe he fits their scheme. Chris Olave's body language is bad. Alvin Kamara is going to be suspended or whatever. I think the Saints are going to be dog shit this year, for real. I just don't think that Derek Carr is a good fit for them. Let me go. I'm not going to go over every game, like I said. Let me pick one more game to go over here, and then I'll go ahead and do my last topic, which is be MLB predictions. I mean, the fucking Houston Texans is by far the best play week 1. I know a lot of people are going to be trapped into this. A lot of people are going to say, you know, well, everybody's betting the Texan. It could be like an overhype. No way, I got to push this up a little bit. It can be like an overhyped play for sure, but I believe the Houston Texans is going to be the best play on the board. I mean, they're the most complete team in football. I believe that Derek Stingley is arguably the best DB in the NFL. I've been watching him in camp. He's been picking on C.J. Stroud left and right. You got Will Anderson. You got Danielle Hunter. Their defense is phenomenal with D'Amico Ryans, and they by far have the number 1 wide receiver core in the NFL. Nobody has a better wide receiver core than Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, and not to mention John Mechie, who came from Alabama, who had really been killing it in preseason, fast, explosive player. And they even got fucking Robert Woods as their 5th wide receiver, has proven to be a serviceable receiver in the NFL. I don't believe anybody's stopping the Houston Texans. Laramie Tunsil, CJ Stroud. I believe they're going to be the best team in the NFL this year, seriously. Now, obviously, Kansas City can maybe beat them in the playoffs, but I believe if there's any team in the AFC that actually upsets Kansas City and ends the dynasty, is going to be the Houston Texans. And there's 3 teams that I'm big on this year. It's Houston, it's Green Bay, and of course the Detroit Lions, even though I don't like their coach. So I believe that the best play on the board week 1 by far is the Houston Texans. I know that the Colts have some good players. They got Jonathan Taylor. They got fucking Adonai Mitchell. They got fucking Josh Downs from North Carolina. They got Michael Pittman Jr. I just don't think their defense is relatively that great to be able to beat a team like Houston, even though they're at home. I just don't think Anthony Richardson is ready for that. He's been a big disappointment in preseason. I looked at a poll yesterday that had the top 5 most disappointing players in preseason, and he's on that list. And I just don't think he's a great quarterback. He's a great athlete, but he's not a great quarterback. So I think that Houston Texans is by far the best play week 1, period, point blank. Other than that, Cleveland, Dallas should be a good game. Waiting to see what they do with CeeDee Lamb. Lions versus Detroit should be a very good game as well. We've seen them in the playoffs last year. Finally got a healthy Cooper Kupp. Jets, San Francisco. Money line banger potentially. So that's pretty much it for my NFL. We'll go ahead and go over the last subject here, which will be MLB playoff predictions. I'm starting to learn how to integrate all this bullshit. Let me see. MLB standings. And this should be a good segment here because I know a lot about this right now. I have a lot more knowledge on baseball right now because it's the regular season than I do compared to football, because it's all about watching film and learning from your wins and losses, learning from your mistakes. So as of right now, Baltimore, New York, Cleveland, and are the best teams in the American League. And nobody expected Cleveland to be this good. Nobody expected Kansas City to be this good. Nobody expected Minnesota to be this good. The AL Central is surprisingly a very competitive division. 72-52 Guardians, 70-55 Kansas City. Even the Twins are 70-55. So very, very competitive division. There's going to be only 2 wild cards in the AL, and it's going to be either Yankees, Baltimore, Kansas City, Minnesota, or Cleveland out of those teams. I do believe that Kansas City has a really good pitching staff. They have a team that can really do some damage in the AL. I'm going to stick with my prediction. I'm going to run with the Baltimore Orioles to win the American League. I believe that the Houston Astros are a dangerous team, though. Picking up Kikuchi or whatever his name is. You got Justin Verlander coming back. You got Kyle Tucker coming back. The Astros do this every single fucking year. People write them out, and they find a way to be in the World Series. I believe the Astros are a legitimate contender, and I believe when they get these players back on their lineup, especially Kyle Tucker, I believe you better watch out for the Houston Astros because they have the experience and they can beat anybody in the playoffs. But if I had to pick one team right now to represent the American League, I'm going to stick with the Baltimore because I have them all year. I believe they have the best lineup from top to bottom. Santander, Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson, O'Hearn, fucking Kowser, got Holiday's son. They're just a really, really good team, and I believe that Grayson Rodriguez will take the next step. If not this year, the next year, I believe that Baltimore will be in the World Series between the next couple of years. Now, the National League is where it gets a little bit more competitive. I believe that it's a 2-team race in the National League right now. I believe the Dodgers are the best team overall. They just have a lot of injuries to their pitching staff right now. What was the pitcher's name? Yamamoto has been out. No Dustin May. Walker Buehler's been out. Fucking even Tyler Glass now has not been in the lineup. They went and picked up Jack Flaherty, which is going to be big for them in the playoffs because he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. Shohei Ohtani is the best player to ever play the game. Mookie Betts, Ohtani, Will Smith, Gavin Lux is on fire right now. Toscar Hernandez. Nobody has a better team than the Dodgers. It's just the Arizona Diamondbacks absolutely own the Dodgers. They smacked them last year. They scored 7 runs on Kershaw in game 1. And if Dodgers try to run Kershaw in the playoffs again, Dave Roberts needs to be fired. So obviously my money is on the Arizona Diamondbacks right now. Got Zach Gallen, got Kelly, got Eduardo Rodriguez, got Brandon Paddock yesterday who started. Their biggest weakness is their bullpen, but their lineup top to bottom is the best in baseball. They need Ketel Marte to get back healthy. They need Christian Walker to get back healthy. But Jock Peterson's a big pickup. Randy Gerchick's a big pickup. The Perdomo, McCarthy's one of the hottest hitters in baseball right now. I'm going to stick with the Arizona Diamondbacks to win the World Series this year. They got there last year. They got beat by a better team than the Texas Rangers. Corey Seager was on fire. Garcia was on fire. Marcus Semien was on fire. Their starting pitching staff and their bullpen is the reason why the Rangers won the World Series last year. I believe that Arizona can outscore anybody, and right now it's my top money-making trend in all of sports right now is the Arizona Diamondback games over. I made damn near $13,000 yesterday on the in-play over. Not only are they scoring runs, they're giving up a lot of runs. Even without Ketel Marte, who's their best hitter, Christian Walker, who's their best power hitter, they're still getting the job done. And when a team like that loses their top 2 hitters and they're still producing at the plate, you better watch out. So I just believe that the Arizona Diamondbacks are the best team in baseball right now. They didn't have Eduardo Rodriguez last year. They picked him up. He's a savvy vet. And with Kelly getting back from injury, Zach Gallen, Paddock, who tore it up last year as a rookie, I'm sticking with the Arizona Diamondbacks. But if the Dodgers just so happen beat Arizona, I will be happy. I'll be happy about losing my $2,500. I believe Shohei Ohtani is not human. I'm not even making that up. I don't think the guy's human. Since when is a Chinaman that tall, that strong, best pitcher in baseball, best hitter in baseball? How the fuck do you pitch right-handed and hit left-handed? This guy is a phenomenal player. He's the best player I've ever seen in my life, and I can't wait for next season when he finally is able to be a pitcher again because he's recovering from Tommy John surgery. So next year, when we add Shohei Ohtani to that pitching staff with Dustin May, who should be back, Jack Flaherty, hopefully we keep him around, Tyler Glass now, like all we need to do is improve on our bullpen, and I believe Dodgers would be the best team in baseball. But like I said, Philly doesn't have a great bullpen. Atlanta doesn't have a great bullpen. Milwaukee, out of all the teams in the National League, I think Milwaukee probably has the best bullpen out of every team in the National League, and they could definitely be a problem when it's all said and done. So I'm going with the Arizona Diamondbacks to win the World Series. I'm going to go Arizona versus Baltimore, maybe Arizona versus Kansas City, maybe even the Guardians do something because their bullpen is so good, and they have fucking Jose Ramirez, Lane Thomas, Josh Naylor, and Stephen Kwan. That's a crazy, crazy lineup. I believe the American League is up for grabs. Whoever wants it better go grab it. I believe that the National League is all about the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. Yeah, I said Phillies were going to win it all year long, and Phillies can very well still do it because there's no team in baseball who has a better pitching staff, a starting pitching staff to compete in the playoffs. They got Ranger Suarez, Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler, who I believe is the best pitcher in all of baseball right now, Sanchez. Their starting pitching staff is built for success in the playoffs. So I will not be surprised if the Phillies end up going to the World Series. They've been there 2 years in a row. They're hungry. They want to get Bryce Harper his first World Series because, the Nationals won the World Series when he ended up leaving, which definitely hurt his morale. Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Stott, Baum, a lot of talent over there. I just believe that their biggest weakness is their defense. I'm not a big fan of Bryce Harper's defense. I think Trey Turner's not a good defender. Kyle Schwarber is a DH. They don't really have the defensive firepower for me to really support their pitching staff, and I've seen that defense really be an issue with them, and I believe their defense will be a problem. So this is it for today. We're going to start doing these podcasts live on whatever the fuck this is. We're going to figure it out. I'm going to try to keep my mouth shut. Stop saying things like KY jelly on your fingertips, getting your booty hole banged. Hopefully don't get banned for saying shit like that. And we're going to continue to move forward and strive and make money any way we can. We only have 131 people right now. Chinaman, they might ban you here too. Okay. Well, it is what it is. One thing about me is I'm never going to learn my lesson. So tomorrow we're going to break down a different division in the NFC. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to go AFC North, NFC North. And then I'm going to go AFC West, NFC West, AFC South, NFC South, AFC East, NFC East. So tomorrow I will break down the NFC North for you guys on live, and we'll go from there. I'll still go live on Instagram today because, I get a lot more viewers on there, and I'll try to refer people from Instagram to come here and watch this. And let's get this money. I appreciate the love and support. And let's take over the industry, man. I'm red hot fire right now. I can feel the energy swaying. Let's get this money. What do I do? Press this to end it?
Yeah.
What?